better, but I do prefer to eat strawberries. Like if I have a choice between a fruit, but oddly, yes, strawberry jam is too lumpy.
Strawberry jam is too lumpy.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Yeah.
So Amy, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Well, it's snowing, and
No,
so
you're
that
lying.
no, I'm not lying. It's I'm not going to turn my computer, but it's snowing, and
Okay,
so that's a negative. But
right.
I also showered today, so that's a positive.
Amazing. Yeah, it's quite an accomplishment these days, just showering,
I th-
right?
I think it is. I think there's a lot
Yeah,
of talk online about having standard normals and new days and stuff. But the morning shower, it's a sign of a good day.
good. Did you just have your shower for this session that we're having?
Sure.
Yeah. You want to feel fresh.
Yep, I did.
Yeah.
I did. This doesn't just happen. This isn't an accident, you know? Like there's a lot of individual hairs that need clipping. So it's a whole
Oh,
process.
well, yeah, it looks very complicated, but I'll tell you, I'm sure that a lot of the people who are watch you have been through this as well. But I had a little beautification mishap the other day. You may not be able to see it, but I took off a little more of my eyebrow.
No, you did.
Yeah, I did. See this one long, this one not so
You know
long.
what the solution to that is?
Shave them off and draw them on. Oh, good
Sharpie.
one. Yeah,
Even
yeah.
brown them. Anyway,
Oh,
so Amy, you're the CEO of a little company that is doing all sorts of amazing stuff right now to help people through not just COVID-19, but the impact of COVID-19 and how it's kind of disrupted normal business. By the name of First 30. Can you give me like a highlight reel of what that's all about?
yeah, sure. So about a year ago, I published a book it's called A Spark in the Dark, Illuminating Your Path to a Brilliant Career in a Reorg World. And through the process of writing that book, I spoke to dozens of people who had been through outplacement programs. And just in case anyone who's watching doesn't know what outplacement is, it's works business to business. So when businesses let go employees, they'll put them through programs to help them get over the job loss and to find meaningful work. So I really got into talking to people about their outplacement experience. I've been in outplacements twice, and there was a lot of gaps from what I could see, from what I heard from the people I spoke to, but also what I heard from HR leaders. So I designed First 30 to really solve a lot of the problems that exist with outplacement today, also make it more accessible and affordable. So we launched the program. The program was built over the course of a year. So right after I published this book, I started working on First 30. And I launched it at the HRPA show in January, just the end of January, once the development was all finished. So kind of had the experience of launching, not right at the beginning of the pandemic, but really during the pandemic. And I felt like through all of this, watching people going through layoffs, I was hearing a lot from family and friends. And I thought it's wrong to just sit on a program that you know can help people right now and not find a way to give them access. It seems really simple, but it's actually a little more complicated than it looks on the surface. So it required some additional development investment, which is tough, you know, when you've self-funded your own ventures. So I just thought, you know what, it's worth it. It's worth it to get this program out there. So right now we've opened up the platform to 10,000 people who've been affected by layoffs. You don't have to qualify to get in the program though. I'm getting that question a lot. And it's an entirely virtual program. You'll have 30 days of video coaching. There's a resume writing course, a LinkedIn course. I'm just about to launch a webinar series about finding a job in a virtual world. So you'll get a copy of my book, an audio edition and an e-edition. So it's really designed to help people get through a job loss and find work. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I'm assuming the name First 30 is it's really important to go through a variety of activities within those first 30 days
Mm-hmm.
of that search. And I get to speak with a lot of candidates as well. Some of them have at no fault of their own, found themselves where their company is just poof, their jobs have gone away, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I speak with candidates that, this was a pre-COVID layoff, and their intent was to kind of collect themselves and have a couple months off to themselves and kind of figure out what that next step is. With what we're seeing in the market now, do you think people have that luxury anymore, or do you think now is the time, even though the jobs don't necessarily exist today? I believe there will be a hiring boom in a matter of months.
Right.
When we get back to work and get back to the office and that kind of stuff, the economy is going to come back. I feel like there's going to be a hiring boom. And not only do companies need to have strategies in place to pull people back in, but I think people definitely need strategies to make themselves visible. We were chatting before about social media and building platforms and profiles. And, I was telling you about Twitter and LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah. Is part of your program about helping individuals raise their visibility, or is it more helping them develop the skills to have those interviews and sell themselves once they have that conversation booked?
So there is an element of the program that's all about networking, and we're adding in some webinars that are all about virtual networking. So yes, absolutely, getting yourself more visibility is part of the program. I also wanted to add that the program is open for a year. Even though we're called First 30, you can stay in it for a year. Some people have worried that if they sign up, they only have 30 days, and that's not the case. But prepare now. So I think what you were asking is, what should people be doing? There may not be a ton of jobs available right now, but get ahead. I always say, always be reorg ready, even if you're in an amazing job, because you never know when things will change. And now when we're sitting at home and we're self-isolating, it's a great time to get your resume together. It's a great time to get your LinkedIn profile looking amazing. And I was on your LinkedIn profile. Anyone who is watching this should go read your LinkedIn profile. It is probably one of the best LinkedIn profiles I've ever read. It's just so warm. You write in first person, which I love, but more than that, I immediately wanted to talk to you. I was so glad we were having this call when I read that. So kudos to you. That's fantastic. I'd love to use that as an example for people when they're thinking about writing it.
You are welcome to do that. Let me just... I'm totally joking. I really appreciate the feedback, and any if you want to use it as an example, go for it. That's cool. I think the funny story behind that profile, for years I had the most boring profile ever, and I was chatting with my boss at the time. This was probably, I don't know, I had hair at the time, so 6-7 years ago. Anyway, she said, your LinkedIn profile is kind of boring. Like, you want to put some personality in that? And so I went through that whole journey of trying to write it and write it in a way that is the way I speak. But I was really terrified to actually post it. And so one night, it was like a Friday night, probably 2012, had a couple glasses of wine and said, screw it, done.
That's probably how a lot of people have posted Tinder profiles too.
Sure, probably. Yeah. So on the subject of Tinder, Amy.
Yes.
You have just launched, not just launched, but you've launched this platform a little while ago. At the same time, you now have 2 kids at home constantly.
Yes.
I don't know why I said Tinder to begin with, but the whole relationship.
That actually is a good thing to bring up with me, because I met my now husband on Tinder.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Who super liked who? Who?
Well, of course, he liked me first.
Oh, okay.
No, you know what? I have to say, we had the best experience meeting each other, and I'm sure that it's not the same for everyone, but it worked out really, really well for us. And, like you were talking about your LinkedIn profile, just to tie it all together, your LinkedIn profile is so sincere. And now is a time where, with everything that's going on in the world, we can really cut through the bullshit. Let's face it. Yep. When people aren't being sincere, it comes across very obviously, especially at a time when, for a lot of people, lives are falling apart. Mm-hmm. And when we approach things from a genuine point of view, when we're being true to ourselves, and we're being sincere and we're thinking of others first, it will shine through. And that's really, to tie it back to Tinder, that's really was my attitude on Tinder when I was dating. I was like, you know what? I know this is a very weird environment to meet someone, but I'm just going to be sincere about my intentions and treat everyone with kindness and be genuine. And it worked out so well for me. I wasn't putting on any airs.
Did you have like the messed up eyebrow at the time?
Are you kidding? He never would have gone out with me if I had my messed up eyebrow. Forget about it.
So how has the transition been over the last couple of months? Like you've launched this new business. You've got the kids now at home all day. There is a shower routine, I'm sure, for them. Like
very minimal.
But how has been the transition from writer to entrepreneur to home or home with the kids all day to teacher to quarantining to self-isolating? Like how are you holding up with all of the change?
You know, every day is different and the same. I'm sure many people would say that. It's like some days are harder than others. It's hard. You and I are both extroverted. It's hard not getting out there and seeing people. I did spend a lot of time at home alone when I was writing the book, so I was kind of used to that. Then it was so weird because the business, then I had to build the business, and that was an independent activity once again. I had amazing subcontractors who have helped me work on the project, but for the most part, it was an individual exercise. So getting out there, I was finally ready to launch and get out there, and I started getting out there, which was really weird, and it leaves you feeling very vulnerable, especially when your business is so personal. Mm-hmm. But then this all happened, and we're at home again, and some of it means that there's a lot of your pressure is relieved. I always thought it was funny to have virtual meetings with people, and I'm in my home because I'm a small business and they're in this beautiful office. It's kind of a level setter, right? We're all at home now. When it comes to the kids, yeah, is it crazy running your own business and taking care of kids? It is. My kids have been fantastic. They've been learning independently. As I always say to people, I'm raising adults, not children. So it's really up to them to make it work, make it happen too. And they've been really great about it, I have to say. So in that sense, I'm very lucky. I gifted myself, my birthday's at Christmas time. So I gifted myself a rowing machine last year.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So that has been my salvation. So it's been great. So if your listeners or viewers are looking for my advice, I would say try to keep fit, through this. It's not easy, but motivate yourself to every day do something active, because that will really, really change your mindset. A lot of this situation is out of our control. And I know from all the work I've done on wellness that it's hard to stay, to feel positive and feel good and well when you're not in control of your own outcome. But there are things you can do to keep control.
So Amy, we have something in common. Well, many things in common, but one of the things that I haven't shared with you and I've only shared with a few people is that I'm actually writing a couple books as well. And I'm not a parent, and I am writing a parenting book called It's a Parent, I'm Not a Parent, basically where I give non-parental advice to parents that is basically the equivalent of input from someone who's not a parent saying, what the hell's wrong with you with your kids? Like, just give them some NyQuil and shut up. That sort of thing. Can you introduce me to your publisher? Because that would be pretty cool. I want to get some artistry going,
Yeah.
Ideally not get sued with horrible advice. But I do know that NyQuil seems to be the solution to everything. I don't know what the big deal is.
It solved a lot of your problems, I guess, then?
No, not really.
Hot toddies, that's the adult version.
Hot toddies, there you go. But I mean, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, yes, I'd be happy to. My publisher was Page 2, and I'd be most happy to make an introduction. my idea was to write a children's book, or not a children's, a parenting book after this. So maybe we want to co-author it. But I was going to call mine "How to Raise Kids Other People Like."
That sounds outstanding. So last question, just being conscious of the time. What has surprised you the most about what you've learned about yourself since COVID?
Well, let's see. I'm surprised that our household is a happy household. I came from, an unhappy marriage and a very dysfunctional household. So I've got through that. And it was always really important to me to have a really happy household. And I wasn't sure when all of this started happening, am I going to be able to maintain that? Because we were stuck together, you're moody. But we have done a tremendous job, and I've learned about myself that I can do this. I can be with 3 other people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and make it work, and find pleasure in the little things. We play a game called Aggravation almost daily. And we've been having a lot of fun. I know not everyone is in the same boat. We're very, very fortunate people, and I've learned to really appreciate the little things and not worry about the bigger things as much, and look for ways that I can support my network in meaningful ways. And that is what has brought me joy through this period, to find a way to support people. I know it's not being a frontline worker, but people are suffering through job loss, and I'm trying to find as many ways as I can to help people through that.
And thank you for doing that. Like this is the kind of news story we need right now. What you're doing, you're helping 10,000 people get back to work as quickly as we can, or as they can, I suppose. What's the website again? Give us a plug.
Yeah, it's first30ready.com. If you go to first30ready.com, there's a notification on our front page where you can click to go to the page where you can join the program. There's a few steps to joining, only because that's what we could do in terms of development. So, but once you're in, and we're very, very happy to have you there. And like I said, there is no qualification. We don't qualify you to join. So if you need our help, take us up on it and join and be a part of the program. And you'll hear from me. I'm going to be running some webinars soon. So really happy to help you.
That's awesome. Amy, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Stay healthy and safe.
And good luck with your books. I'm excited.
Again, the NyQuil comment is not medical advice, and it is intended to be satirical. So if you're watching this and you want to give your kid NyQuil, don't try and sue me, because I will disappear and just say no.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care.
Have a good day.